Join me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Find all my social media links below in the info section of this video. Make sure you check out my new vlogging channel. Click on the video and it'll take you straight over.
Hi guys, it's your girl Beautiful Brown Baby Doll, and I'm coming today to talk about a movie that I have been waiting for since I heard they were doing a sequel, The Best Man Holiday. For me, it was one of the best movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year, and I probably like this sequel better than I did the original. After watching this movie, I really wanted to see them remake like Brown Sugar, Love and Basketball, and maybe even give us The Wood #2. So if you're gonna watch beyond this point, make sure that you decide whether or not you want to, because your girl is probably gonna be telling a little bit of spoilers and talking a little bit more about the movie. So those of you all who haven't seen it yet, I don't want to ruin it for you. So if you decide to go beyond this point, that's on you. So like our girl Kingy say, don't come for me unless I send for you, because I told you it's gonna be some spoilers. But I think the reason why this movie was so amazing is because so many of us find ourselves relating to many of the characters, and I can't believe that it's been 14 years since the last movie came out, but it's almost like you relate so heavily to each character and you can see where they're coming from, where they're going, and what they're doing. I also saw a little bit of my friends in almost each one of the characters on this movie, and even more so than I did when I was younger. Of course, it was 14 years ago, so I was like, you know, 15 years old. This was looking at the movie from a different perspective, an older perspective, being a 30-year-old professional and seeing some of the struggles that I go through as well as my friends. I related so much to Jordan, or Nia Long, in this movie. I felt like she is the continually strong woman character, the independent figure and into her career, but not so much giving, not as giving to her love life and to those who love her. She will do whatever it takes to be a good friend and a good person, but when it comes to her love life, that kind of takes a back burner. It really touched my heart when I saw her being told by Mia, who is another one of my favorite characters in this movie, that, you know, she has to be open to love. And I related to that a lot because I find in myself that I'm not always open to love. It usually is it's the last thing on my list. Seeing her become softer over the years and not only allowing time for her career, but allowing time for her friends, family, and her romantic relationship. One of the other characters in this movie that I think touched hearts, I mentioned her already, is Mia. Those of you all who saw the movie, yes, we know that we lose Mia in this movie. It's one thing to see somebody who loves so hard and loves unconditionally, and oh my God, am I getting emotional over a movie? In the midst of all of the chaotic foolishness and the fighting and the fussing, she was able to stay focused on her friends and stay focused on giving them advice and giving them love and giving them hope and joy, instead of bringing them down, talking about her illness or talking about the things she had been through. For her, that was irrelevant. You know, she had them there when she needed them there, but she also put them at the forefront. And
I don't know how I forgot to mention Robin, but she was another pivotal character. We saw her grow here. She was really not taking a lot of mess from Harper, and she's demanding more of him, but she's also very loving and supportive. And I like that she's like the girl next door, but she's also taking her own, and she was great.
Another person that I think a lot of people really loved in this movie, who was realistic, was Lance. And even though he was a professional football player, he was human. He was like this superhuman dude, and he was like, oh, you know, we gonna beat this, we gonna take this, we gonna try. You know, with his wife Mia, he really had to come to his own and realize that he needed his friends. And there's a point in life where all of us have to realize we need someone, and we can't always be strong. When we have a loss, or when we miss somebody, or when something happens to us, we don't have anything to fall back on, and you can't be strong on your own without others who love you. Though Lance lost his wife, he was able to transfer again his love to his best friend Harper, and it was just really good to see their relationship come back after so many years. For 14 years, they really haven't been best friends, and they've had limited communication because of the differences that they had or they experienced in the first movie. I really appreciated getting to see the development of that character and to see how he had to learn to love again and learn to grow and give in. And that leads me into Harper, who also, the last time we left, he was this big time writer. He was doing his thing, best-selling book author, all of this, but we find in this movie he's falling on hard times. He's struggling. He's got a kid coming into the world. He's still kind of immature and selfish, but you know, he's growing as a man. And even though we see ourselves being this person years ahead of time, things don't always work out how we think they should. And with that, we learn that here, and we also see that he has to learn that he needs his friends, because for years he and Lance have not been as close and connected as they should, but both of them ended up needing each other. Lance was good because he had children. He knew what it was like. He knew the emotional problems. He knew the physical things. Clearly we learned that. And also many other things that he could lead and direct and guide his friend on. And it was the same thing for Harper, who, even though he went there for selfish gain, trying to get another book, which he ended up getting, he learns that he needs Lance in many different ways, and that he had to give in, and that he also had to bend down and even ask Q, who told him to call him daddy one time, ask him for money and humble himself. So even though he had been this character in the past who we've seen be beat up, we've seen all the problems he's gone through, we've seen all the ups and downs, all the struggles, but now he really had to admit to his downfalls, his pitfalls, and then come back from that. Also connected with the other characters in this movie, but we saw even Candy develop into a woman who, I think in the first one we saw that, you know, she was a stripper, whatever, but she had high hopes for herself, and we see those high hopes come to fruition. We also see that her past comes back to haunt her, which many of us have dealt with as well. And I don't care who you are, all of us have a past, and everybody's past ain't squeaky clean. So we all have to deal with and bear the brunt of what happened to us in the past. When his one-liners and everything he had to say was great. The new, you know, the kids. Then we had Shelby, who was like a real housewife and an absent mother. We even saw her growth and development, or lack thereof, but she was an awesome character as well. And I think the great thing about this movie is that it shows a sense of friendships and families. I think we saw a lot more of the fact that your friends can be just as down for you as your family. If you have not gone to see this movie yet, please take the time to go and see this movie. Support it. It was the #2 movie of the weekend on Friday. Actually, it was #1. If you have any comments, expressions, anything you really thought about the movie, please write it below, and please join us on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those other social media outlets, and chat with me and discuss with me about the movie, because I've been posting a lot about them. So thanks guys for watching. Beautiful Brown Baby Doll. Peace. I am gone with the wind, fabulous.
Make sure you check out my latest video. Click here and it'll take you right to it.